G'day, everyone. So, this is one of those I'm just opening up and being a bit real with you vlogs for a couple of reasons. Partially because I haven't done one for a while and I feel the need to sort of let you know where I'm at, what's going on with me. And also because honestly, I think it's important um, to be real sometimes, especially when my job is very performative. Um, it gives the impression that once you make it, whether you're a professional YouTuber or an artist or whatever it is, that it looks a certain way because I present it a certain way, and that's all there is to the picture. But that's not the case, and everything goes in ebbs and flows and has its ups and downs. And the last month, more than the last month, the last while has been really challenging me in different ways. And ways that are very just personal, my own sort of basically like all the ebbs and flows and the challenge of having done something for 11 years and finding ways to sort of keep it new, but also when the platform has sort of become more and more challenging and less rewarding, how do you make the process more rewarding, So anyways, I just wanted to have a stream of consciousness chat with you to sort of update you and tell you where I'm at. Did a video recently doing the June characters and stuff from the description. And it was really just a slog, like way harder for me than it usually is. And this just happens sometimes where it's just like, I'll end up just sort of before starting, before starting, I had my rituals, I got set up and then I got going and I started doing it digitally. And I spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours on this character and it just looked like garbage, like absolute garbage. And I'm just like, that's 2 hours down and I hate this. Like, I'm not going to put that out there anyway. I know I've tried to fix it twice, so it's just like crap, what do I do? So I just totally changed gears and went to, this paper. I went to really rough as guts paper and just sort of went, I'll just go scribbly and scratchy. And but between that, there's this time of like just sitting for 20 minutes doing nothing, trying to motivate yourself to give it another go. It was really hard, and that's where, like, honestly, part of my biggest, I have two hesitations in opening up like this. One is that I can't help but hear the voices of some people, which inevitably, happens now and then in these sort of videos, of like sort of poor you, woe is you, like, wow, cry me a river, I work 2 jobs, life isn't as hard for you as it is for me, which I get it. Like, of course that's going to be, and it is a valid response, but at the same time, everyone's struggle is valid in a different way. The pressures on in people's lives and their capacity to deal with them in different ways, at different intensities at any given time is variable, and I think that's where sort of compassion and understanding is really important. But then the other hesitation I have is that when you put a piece of content out there, it kind of you build an image, so the more being real pieces of content I put out there, the more that actually becomes a part of my image. And I've felt this effect more viscerally on the main channel in particular. Like when I've done a video like I don't like what I've become, where I really opened up about like how I changed that at that time, or like the one where I launched my Patreon called This Is Hard and It's Hard to Ask for Help or whatever. They're really important to sort of open up in that way and have those real conversations. But, like I'll bump into someone a year later who's like, oh, hey, are you from YouTube? And I'm like, yeah, like... And they're like, yeah, the last video I saw of yours was like you depressed crying on camera. I'm like, oh, great, cool, great. But that was like a moment in time, but it's there forever now. And it's like people will associate you with the image you put out there. So it's really, it's a hard balance to strike, because the same is true of the opposite, of being in videos constantly smiling and acting like everything's easy or okay when you're pushing through stuff is also not, honest or true, So I guess that's sort of on my mind. I'm trying to be balanced about it. But there's not a lot in depth I really want to go through, aside from saying really that I have been really struggling to find my balance. And it's been a project. And my recent coaching session, I have an executive coach, was really insightful. She gave me this really cool demonstration, this visual idea of everything we engage in. There's this quadrant where on the top end you have the high end, which is the high energy use. So everything you do is either high energy or low energy, and sort of in a spectrum of that. And then left to right is negative to positive in terms of your emotions. So that's a really interesting visual. She gives them names. So when you're high energy and positive in your emotions, you're performing. When you're high energy and you're negative in your emotions, you're surviving. When you're low energy and you're positive in your emotions, you're recharging. And when you're low energy and you're negative in your emotions, you're burning out. And I really benefit from structures and visual frameworks personally. And that really struck a chord with me. And she pointed out that I avoid, whether it's subconsciously or just in my habits or whatever it is, I'm almost never in recharge. And I've thrived a lot in being in performing mode, just pushing myself and having fun and living off adrenaline. And early on in the piece, especially, when YouTube was calmer and the whole process was there was less pressure and there were less people depending on me, recharge was at least semi-present. Like there was, even our streams or whatever it was, like there's ways to sort of rest in it or like have different projects there. I always bite off more than I can chew, and I always end up in this high energy place, but that's just sort of how I'm wired. But I've certainly in the last few months, I guess, been more in surviving and burnout in a way that's really sort of become clear to me that I need to manage, and I've been working really hard on that. So that's actually been my project at the moment, is trying to get out of survival, trying to get out of burnout mode. And that's just my personal challenge, my personal journey at the moment. And I'm really fortunate that I have, my coach who's amazing. And so, I'm trying different therapists and stuff, and my community, you guys just being so patient and positive and honest and, compassionate, and caring about what I do. And I think gratitude and sort of focusing on enjoying sort of where I'm at and what I've earned and who I'm with is going to be a big part of helping me sort of get out of my own head sometimes. But yeah, that's my current challenge. And I just wanted to share that with you because everyone's in a different place, and I'm living a dream job, but a dream job is still a job. And, it's never perfect. It's not, and there's, yeah, I'm just blabbing now, but anyway, I'm really enjoying a bit of this game dev stuff that's sort of keeping, the passion spark happening, and I'm really enjoying. I actually went for a horse ride this morning with my wife because we just sort of said, screw it, like let's do, and I've had a break recently. We went away to the city, and there's a long weekend this weekend. So I think there's opportunities here to just sort of pull myself out and find a bit more equilibrium. And then I think finding more opportunities to sort of to find my recharge in what I do. And I think that's been my biggest challenge, but it's not because it's not possible or because I've lost something. It's just because I need to learn to do something that I've sort of unlearned. I think in large part because of the pressure I put on myself and the people I'm always like. It's all, that was the other revelation I sort of had from the coaching session, was that I'm doing so much for everyone else. I'm doing and the pressure I constantly feel under is for my family, for the people here, making sure I've got work for everyone and that, everyone's looked after. And then I've got thousands, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of people who are a part of what I produce. And as a creative exercise. That's a lot of pressure. And after such a long time, to find yourself in a low place where everyone here having a job and everyone who's signed up to watch me being entertained relies on me delivering something in a certain way continuously, how that takes a piece from me, or how I do that, is really, important to sort of get right in a way that doesn't hurt me. So, yeah, I'm just being open with you because I have on my little calendar tick list do a vlog, because I've been aiming to do sort of daily vlogs or whatever. But I haven't ticked that off in the last week or so, just because I also don't want to bullshit, I don't want to crack this out and haha, everything's fine, you guys. And don't get me wrong, the important stuff is fine. My family is, and the people I'm surrounded by, and even though financial times aren't as easy as they've been in the past, everything's okay. So, and I've got all the resources I need to sort of look after myself. It's just something I need to exercise more and learn. And I thought I'd share that because I think sometimes sharing that stuff is helpful. That's it. Something I've learned doing this as long as I've done it is there will be someone who watches this who needed to hear this today. And to you, I say, let's keep going. But, we just got to take a deep breath and it's all a moment in time. And we'll get to the next moment in time. And hopefully it's better. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you later.